The Avenger in GTA Online is considered by many to be one of the most overpowered aircraft in the game. It has insane amounts of armor, it packs 3 explosive cannons, and it can be equipped with both missiles and bombs to cause insane amounts of chaos. With just one Avenger and a few buddies, you can easily dominate the entire lobby, and it's also one of the best anti-griefer tools in the game. But what about this vehicle when it comes to money making? Because the Avenger unlocks some missions that can only be done if you have the operations terminal upgrade. So should you be grinding these to get rich? And if you do, how much money can you make from them? In this guide, I'll attempt to answer all those questions, and I'll also give you a rough idea of how long it takes to do these missions. But before we start, I must caution you here. If you're a beginner who doesn't have a whole lot of cash and just wants to make the maximum amount of money possible per hour, do not buy an Avenger. Instead, get either the agency or the Kasaka and spam Kaio plus the Dr. Dre contract to get a decent amount of starter cash early on. Then, once you have a bit of disposable income, you can definitely consider spending $3.5 million on the base Avenger vehicle. But that's not going to be enough either, because you also need the operations terminal worth $1.4 million so you can unlock those Project Overthrow and LSA operations missions. Alright then, with all the preparations out of the way, how about we actually use that brand new Avenger to make some money? There are 6 Project Overthrow missions that you can access from your operations terminal in the cargo hold, and these are essentially contact missions. They pay based on time spent during the mission, but generally you only need about 10 to 12 minutes each on the upper end of the average time it takes to complete these jobs. They pay around $25,000 per mission, and most of them contain objectives and locations that you've probably seen before, but with a few little twists here and there. So in the first mission, reporting for duty, your job is to give the Merryweather boys a visit over at their Davis Courts base and take out a few of their supply trailers. For this, you're definitely going to want to use the Avenger, as it makes things infinitely easier. If you have installed the triple turret upgrade, you can easily kill every AA trailer, helicopter, and soldier in the base within about a minute or so. Alternatively, you can use the bomb bay on your Avenger to hover over the target location and blow up the supplies. Because the Avenger can tank so many explosives, you'll survive the enemy onslaught even if their anti-aircraft cannons try to take you down. Then you also have the homing missiles as a last resort. These aren't particularly accurate, and they only fire in salvos of 2 before going on a 1-second cooldown, so it's not like the Sparrow where you've got an infinite barrage of missiles, but it's still more than adequate to kill every target in the base. Once you've killed all the supply trailers, land in the middle of the quarry right here, clear out any remaining soldiers, open this container, drive out with the Draugr, go straight into your Avenger, then fly back to the LSA lockup to complete the mission. Next, the second Project Overthrow mission is called Falling In, and this one can be very hard to do solo if you don't understand what the game requires from you. So first, you need to use your Avenger's turrets to search for the sunken cargo crates in the crash sites, and the turret cameras need to be in the thermal scan mode, otherwise you won't be finding the crates. Then you have to kill a few Kanadas and buzzards, as well as the Merryweather boats that are circling around the crash location. Then for the first crate, you have to land your Avenger on this barge. Don't land on the shoreline, you'll never make it to the crates because you can't use something like a Toreador or your personal submarine. You'll have to swim there and pick it up by hand, and there are Merryweather helicopters constantly spawning over your head, and these guys have aimbot, so they'll hit you even when you're underwater. The goal here is to minimize the amount of time spent underwater, so land on the barge, grab the crates, then use your railgun to clean up any Merryweather stragglers that are still lingering around the area. Once the first crate has been acquired, fly over to the second location and repeat the process. This time, there's no barge on the water, and the crate is deeper underwater as well, but if you kill all Merryweather personnel in the first wave itself, you have a few seconds of downtime before they spawn another one. Use this time to swim in and quickly swim back out with the crate. Once that's done, just fly back with your loot to the LSA lockup, and you'll unlock the third mission, and possibly the most important one of them all. This mission is On Parade. Now, for all you GTA Online veterans watching this, you already know why On Parade stands out from every other Project Overthrow mission. But if you're still new to the whole Avenger thing, let's just say that it unlocks the trade price for a very expensive and very overpowered aircraft. And you actually get to use that aircraft in this mission itself. Yes, it is none other than that F-160 Raiju, the fastest plane in the entire game, and it comes with both stealth as well as VTOL capabilities. And this whole mission is basically one giant tutorial to get you acquainted with the Raiju's powers before you decide to buy one for yourself. So, how do you actually complete On Parade? First, you have to fly through this valley area in stealth mode. If you use your weapons, you'll break stealth, so don't do that. Just fly to the target area where you'll then be asked to do a few stunts. From here, just do a bunch of barrel rolls to pass the section. Then you'll be asked to take out a few augmented reality targets, which are super easy if you just use your homing missiles. After all this, you finally arrive at the combat phase of the mission, where you'll have to take out the enemy Avenger that's being guarded by a bunch of buzzards and lasers. If you selected hard mode, you'll get 2 Avengers, but that's still no issue because all you have to do is go into VTOL lethal mode and spam your explosive cannons. If you use missiles, you'll need an eternity to kill these things, so save yourself the headache and use your cannons instead. Also, try flying head on at the enemy lasers or get behind them if you want reliable missile kills, because the tracking on these homing missiles is kind of garbage, I'll be honest, and if the target is flying sideways from your perspective, the missile is going to miss 9 times out of 10. Once you complete this mission, you'll unlock the trade price for the Raiju, which brings the cost down from a gargantuan $6.8 million to only $5.1 million, which, yes, is of course still a ton of money, but it's just a bit more attainable compared to before. Now, for the fourth Project Overthrow mission, Breaking Ranks, your job is to intercept a Merryweather relocation operation where they're shifting a ton of super valuable tech from their Grapeseed base over to their main HQ. But there's 2 different approaches you could take. Either go in guns blazing with the Avenger turret, or sneak in with a suppressed gun and take out the guards one by one. Either way, as soon as you exit the lockup with your Rumpo, Merryweather will call in an airstrike and destroy your Avenger. Then you're going to relive the experience of going up against Jet Griefer in a public lobby, as there's an enemy laser that's headed towards your position with bombs, and if you don't travel fast enough, you'll get hit. The best strategy here, I've found, is to take this railway track and drive all the way home while ignoring everything else and just going as fast as possible. The drive home isn't all that hard, admittedly. However, the real challenge in this mission, if you go with the stealth route, is killing all the guards, because there's a group of them over here and they've all got overlapping cones of vision, so unless you kill them in a very specific order, you will raise the alarm. For Overthrow mission number 5, Unconventional Warfare, your goal is to rescue a hacker by the name of Avi Schwartzman. If you've run the Diamond Casino heist before, you're probably familiar with him, as he is available only if you destroy all 50 jammers around Los Santos, and he's also the most expensive hacker for hire, giving you 5 seconds extra over Paige Harris. Anyway, in this mission, he's kidnapped by a bunch of Merryweather operatives who are holding him hostage in a secret government facility and using him to dig up dirt on the Los Santos Angels, your new mercenary outfit. And the extraction job you're about to pull is straight out of some James Bond movie, because you'll be halo jumping out of your Avenger under the cover of the night sky, and after that, you'll have to avoid a bunch of Merryweather as well as Noose agents on your way to Avi's location. You can go in loud if you want and gun down everyone in sight, but personally, I find the stealth route way more fun here. The only disappointing thing about this mission is that even if you maintain perfect stealth in typical Rockstar fashion, Merryweather will somehow detect you escaping with Avi, and the second half is a forced aggressive mode. This is why I recommend killing as many guards as possible during your entry in stealth, so you won't have to fight them in the second phase. You'll still of course get a few new guards spawning, but the old ones will all be dead and won't be a threat anymore. Also, I recommend using an armored Kuruma for your getaway with Avi, as there are a ton of guards all around the facility, and it's just the safest way to escape with your VIP package, as the armored Kuruma is almost entirely bulletproof from all angles. Overall, this mission feels like a mini heist rather than a simple contact mission, which is why when you see the payout at the end, you might feel a bit disappointed here. There's just one more Overthrow mission left, Shock and Awe, in which you'll assault the main Merryweather base. The key here is to clear out as many Merryweather assets and soldiers as you can before landing your Avenger, so park in the middle of the air right next to the base like this and start using those turrets to cause as much mayhem as you can. Clear up any stragglers with your homing missiles, then land and proceed on foot to destroy 8 different signal jammers. Finding these can be quite hard, as they're tiny boxes with little green markers up top, so take cover, get headshots, and proceed methodically throughout the base. The jammers will be marked with red icons on your minimap, so keep an eye out for that, and once you've destroyed all jammers, you'll be able to unlock the door and push this cargo cart into your Avenger. There are some respawning enemies in this part of the mission who are a bit annoying, but you should still be able to do the whole thing solo without too many issues at all. And once that's done, you've completed all 6 Project Overthrow missions, so the game will reward you with a $250,000 bonus. Combined with the $150,000 you've already made from these 6 missions, that's $400,000 in total right there. And then you can also do 3 LSA operation missions, which are kind of like security contracts from the agency, and I've heard from players that these are a lot less infuriating than doing the Project Overthrow mission solo, and I definitely agree with that. Not only because the LSA operation missions pay more, but also because they have bonus objectives that if you do them, you can add an extra $15,000 to your payout. And these are not contact missions, so you don't get penalized for doing them too fast. The first and probably the hardest of the 3 is direct action, and it's a mission where you parachute into a US Navy aircraft carrier and steal a Toreador from one of the many storage crates in the lower deck. There are also 3 different bonus objectives you can do, and you'll get 1 per mission based on random assignment. If you're asked to steal the Raiju, it's over here on the flight deck. If you're asked to plant the tracking device, this is where you do it, right next to these barrels. And the final variation of the bonus objectives for direct action is the Juggernaut assassination, where you have to kill a Juggernaut who's standing next to the laser right here, and you can take cover and headshot him a bunch of times with a heavy sniper, or you can just use your RPG or some other explosive to take him out even faster. The second LSA operation mission is Surgical Strike, and for this one, you'll have to kill some smugglers and infiltrate a Merryweather base, where you'll then plant tracers on some supply crates so your pilot can fly in with a his Alkanost and bomb the whole place back to hell. The easiest way to do this mission is with an Oppressor Mark II, and you don't need to use the stealth route at all. You can just hover nearby and blow everyone up. Then after that, grab the free flares in the base or use your own flares and mark the 3 containers. Then once that's all said and done, you'll have to steal this HVY Menacer from the backup guards once they arrive and drive it back to the LSA lockup. As a bonus, you might also be asked to steal a mysterious artifact from Fort Zancudo or photograph the unidentified aerial vehicle blueprints at the Meriwether site. I don't know if the UAV is of alien origin or not, but it will pay you an extra $15,000, so do it for the money if nothing else. For the third and final mission, Whistleblower, you'll infiltrate the IAA base by detonating an EMP charge in the nearby electrical substation. Then you have to sneak in using the cover of darkness and ambush the nearly blind IAA operatives. Your bonus goals during this mission are to destroy the backup generator and steal the case files that the IAA has on the Los Santos Angels. Each of the 3 LSA missions here can be assigned a difficulty level ranging from associate to professional. Associate difficulty pays the least at $30,000, specialist pays the most at $60,000 to $70,000, and the professional difficulty is somewhere in the middle with a $45,000 to $50,000 payout. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of my Avenger money-making guide. I think that from a pure money-making perspective, the LSA operations are certainly more lucrative than the Project Overthrow missions, but if you want more fun mission layouts and a bit of a challenge, and you aren't just trying to make money, the Overthrow missions are still well worth it just to try out as well. Plus, if you do on parade, you'll save that $1.7 million on a Raiju, which is more than what you spend on the operations terminal upgrade for your Avenger. Including the first time money bonus, you make approximately $600,000 from doing all Overthrow and LSA missions exactly once, which isn't that much, but these have no cooldown and you can spam them over and over. As always, don't forget to drop a like on this video if you found it informative. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are new and you want to see more GTA 5 online content just like this. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.